Yes.
Okay, good evening, everybody. You're welcome to the grand finale of the scholarship bootcamp. Can you imagine? It's been a long time coming. Wow, I can't believe we're here now. Okay, this evening we're going to have three amazing speakers talk to us. We'll have Good News, an Alan and Nesta Ferguson scholar, Victory, an NDDC scholar, and David Michael, a Commonwealth Masters scholar. Wow, what a way to go out. So first, we'll have Mr. Good News Agare. He is currently in Australia, and can you believe, guys, it's morning over there, and it's Monday already. So while he's going on with his session, I'll advise you drop your questions because he might not be able to stay with us till the end of till end of this webinar. So I'll go ahead to read his bio. Good News Agari is a pharmacist scientist and a current PhD candidate at the University of New South Wales, Australia, working in collaboration with the Australian Nuclear Science and Technology Organization, ANSTO. He earned his pharmacy degree from Delta State University, Nigeria, graduating as the faculty valedictorian, wow, and later served as an assistant lecturer in the Department of Pharmacology and Toxicology at the same university. His passion for cancer therapeutics led him to a master's in clinical oncology at the University of Birmingham, UK, funded by the Commonwealth Shared Scholarship. He was subsequently awarded the Alan Nesta Ferguson Scholarship to study drug discovery and development at the University of Leeds. He loves music and is happy to help people achieve their aspirations. Wow, what an interesting bio. Let's also read Victory's bio. Victory is a recipient of the Niger Delta Development Commission, NDDC Foreign Postgraduate Scholarship. She studied international business management at Coventry University, United Kingdom, and graduated with a distinction. Wow, all our scholars are very intelligent. She has 6 years of experience in the digital marketing industry, serving 20 clients across 5 continents. Sorry, 20 plus clients across 5 continents: Europe, Asia, Africa, North America, and Australia. She's a teen minister, and through her intensive involvement in community development projects, she has reached out to over 2,000 students in several secondary schools to empower them with skills and make social impacts. She is a judge for the UK Search Awards 2025, National Digital Awards 2026, and Europe Search Awards 2026. She is also a guest speaker for the Women in Tech SEO WTS conference holding in London in February 2026. In her free time, she enjoys baking snacks and experimenting with new cake recipes. Wow. And finally, the last but not the least, David Michael is a PhD student in clinical medicine at the University of Oxford and Vice President, Institution Relations of the Oxford University Biotech Society. He holds a first-class degree in biochemistry from the University of Benin, Nigeria, and a distinction-level master's in human molecular genetics from Imperial College, London. Wow. He has research experience as a research assistant at the University of Bath and the University of Oxford, and has received several scholarships and awards, including the prestigious Commonwealth Master Scholarship, in recognition of his academic excellence and leadership potential. Passionate about mentorship, he actively supports students, particularly from underrepresented backgrounds, in accessing global opportunities, helping to empower the next generation of African innovators. So we'll invite our first scholar, Mr. Good News Agari, to speak to us.
All right. Can you hear me? Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can.
All right. Good morning, everybody. Good evening, wherever you are, um, in the globe. Thank you for finding out time to join the grand finale of this series, this bootcamp scholarship bootcamp series that has been going on now for quite a number of weeks. And my name is Good News, and I'll be your first speaker. And basically, I will be um, talking on scholarship application, red flags, and how to avoid them. So this is going to be like a summary of, I believe, of everything that you've been learning throughout this the period of this boot camp. But before I start, I would like to share a bit of my story on my trajectory, everything that I've actually been through in terms of gaining scholarships and some of my skill sets and what I'm currently doing now. And I believe that you'll be able to actually learn from some of them in terms of resilience and developing vital skills. So all right. So I'll just talk briefly about my profile. So, as the person introducing me earlier said, I I completed my Bachelor of Pharmacy degree from Delta State University 2015, and after that, of course, I went for my internship at the Federal Medical Center in Ogwa as an intern pharmacist, and from there, I proceeded to Benue State, Boko to be precise, where I had my youth service. So I've always wanted to do teaching and research. That's always been what I wanted to do. And so while I was serving, though I was posted to a hospital to serve as a core member pharmacist, I went ahead to actually I looked out for schools where I could teach. And fortunately, where I was posted to had some schools where I could actually apply to teach. So I did apply to a school of nursing where I taught pharmacology, and I also applied to College of Health Technology where I taught pharmacy technician students. So basically, I've always wanted to teach, wanted to do research, teaching and research generally. So after my internship, I went ahead to work as a superintendent pharmacist for 2 years, for about 2 years plus, before I joined the university where I finished from as an assistant lecturer in 2021 to 2022. And so during that time, I knew that, yes, okay, so I needed to go for postgraduate studies, and I would love to do it outside the share of this country. So it's just to say that you can actually achieve whatever you want to achieve. You can actually get the any level of education you want to get. If you know, if your mind is made up that you don't want to do that in Nigeria, it's actually possible. So I wouldn't say that I actually started my postgraduate studies on time. So let's say just finishing, and this is for those who think that, oh, perhaps it's too late to start the search for postgraduate studies. I don't think there's any time that is actually too late. So the best time to actually start looking for getting a scholarship is now. It's when you start considering it and when you start thinking about it. So while I resumed my position as an assistant lecturer at the Delta State University, then I started making applications, right? So, and fortunately, when I that year I did the application, I actually got, interestingly, I actually got two fully funded scholarships, and I got the Commonwealth Scholarship at the University of Birmingham. I also got the Alan and Nesta Ferguson Scholarship at the University of Leeds. Now, this is where it's tricky. This is where it's actually tricky. So I got the both scholarship. However, I made a choice to go with a Commonwealth Scholarship at the University of Birmingham. So immediately after I finished my master's, I returned back to Nigeria to work, and I definitely, I know that I wanted to proceed for my PhD. However, I was making applications and trying to, I got some interviews, but while I was doing that, I also applied for, so I applied for Alan and Nesta. You remember in 2022, I got the Alan and Nesta Ferguson Award in 2022 to study for molecular medicine in the UK. And interestingly, in 2023, I applied for it again. So I don't know how. So I'd never seen anyone who would apply for a scholarship, for one scholarship. He got it the first time. He rejected it. Kind of, yes, I rejected it. And I applied again. And fortunately, 2023, in 2024, I was given again. So quite interesting. So this was how I ended up doing two masters. So I did one at the University of Birmingham, and I also did another at the University of Leeds. And so at the time I was trying to apply for the University of Leeds, at the same time I also got a PhD offer at the University of New South Wales. So what I did was that because I felt like I still wanted to gain more skills personal, because of the kind of research I'll be doing, I wanted to gain more research skills. I had to defer my PhD and my scholarship I got at the University of New South Wales. By the way, it's fully funded here in Australia. So I had to defer it, and I went to the UK. I did the master's in drug discovery, which I actually gained a lot of research skills that are very that I'm finding very useful here in Australia. And so I did that, and I completed the master's in September. And in the same September, I resumed my PhD in here in Australia. And so currently, I'm a student of University of New South Wales, and but my research is at the St. George Hospital at the Microbiome Research Center. And also I also work with one of the biggest organizations here in Australia, which is the Australia Nuclear Science Technology Organization. That's where I have my office, and that's where I'm actually taking most of my research here. And by the way, my research is on head and neck cancer. Basically, I'm trying to see how I can improve treatment outcomes in head and neck cancer, translating from animals to human models. That's why I'm doing my research both at the hospital and also at the wet lab. So just to say that you can actually do anything you want to do. You can achieve whatever scholarship you want to achieve. So I'm just going to take us around the process to say that once you want to apply, once you conceive the idea of applying for a scholarship, which I want to think that most of us have actually conceived, what are some of the things you should look out for? How should you make your application stand out? What are some of the things you should not do while making your scholarship application? Okay, so generally, we all know, as I said, this is just going to be a summary of everything we have learned. Scholarships are financial awards or incentives given to students to support their education. That's to support their dream, right? And I want to say now that I currently have a 5 years student visa here in Australia, which of course is as a result of scholarship. And here, if you're a postgraduate student, either masters, so they do have masters in research here, or masters or a PhD, which is mainly research. You have the opportunity to actually come with your family, and either of your spouse can actually work full time. And even as a PhD student, you also, if your research gives you the opportunity, right, to work full-time, you can work full-time. So that's what scholarship can actually afford you. So, and I really want to say that Australia is a beautiful and wonderful country. It's a place, if you are considering countries, I know oftentimes a lot of persons kind of want to focus on UK and US, but I think that Australia, it's a very, very beautiful country to actually um, um, undertake your studies. So scholarship could be full or could be partial, and I want to believe that most of us, what we're looking out for are full scholarships. So, of course, we just listed some of the importance of scholarships, gives you educational access, economic growth. Of course, you don't have to get student loan as done in other countries. And social mobility, yeah, it's actually an opportunity for you to travel, an opportunity for you to leave your comfort zone, to actually see how things are done generally. That's one thing scholarship they do. Then how competitive are scholarships? They are very, 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 very competitive. So you just need to have it in mind that when you're making a scholarship application, you're not the only one applying for that opportunity, right? There are thousands, hundreds of thousands of people conceiving the idea of wanting to apply for that scholarship. Everybody, there are a lot of persons who wants to apply for that. Okay, so that makes it competitive. You have limited spots and a lot of persons applying for that. There's a high demand for scholarship right now. There's a very, very high demand for scholarship. There are over 1 million Nigerian students all over the world in Africa currently seeking study abroad. And survey has actually shown that at every point in time, there are up to 400 to 1 million prospective students seeking scholarship, both for undergraduate and postgraduate studies, right? So that also tells you how competitive scholarships are. So you really need to look out for red flags and to avoid these red flags, right? So of course, the scholarship demand is more than the scholarship availability. Scholarships that are there are not so many. There are many, but when you compare them to those who really want them, so that this is just to say that you have to be very meticulous in your application. You have to do the right thing. There's no room for turning in a weak application and hoping that you get it by luck, right? A scholarship gotten by luck or by merit? Well, scholarship applications are similar to academic job applications, so you need to really bring in your best foot forward. So now let's see. One thing I always tell people when they're making applications, which also job application, is that you need to learn to enjoy the process, because in that process of scholarship application, trust me, there are a lot of skills you would learn, a lot of skills you develop. So I'll just give a very brief story about myself. So after my scholarship application process, now I really didn't have the time to say everything because I did multiple applications, right? It was not just a one target, and I did multiple applications, but those were some of my applications that actually stood out. Now, while I was doing my program in the UK for the second time at the University of Leeds, because of the various application skills I've developed, it was very, very easy for me to get in fact, every application I made, like everything I made, if I get to an interview stage, I got every jobs. Like, so while I was studying at the University of Leeds, I was also an outreach fellow, an educational outreach fellow. I went for the interview. It was kind of very easy interview for me. And I believe that I was able to develop these skills beyond the fact that I was an assistant lecturer. I believe that also I could put in a very strong application because of some of the skills that I've developed over the years during my scholarship application process. So I would want to suggest, and I also want to advise you that learn to enjoy the process, develop every skill set you need to develop while making scholarship application. All right. It's hard work, but you learn to to enjoy the process. Okay, so now what determines your success? So basically, it is what you put in, that's what you get, right? It's really what you put in, that's what you get. So if you put in hard work, resilience, and you're very meticulous in the application, most likely that's what you're going to get. Okay. So let's look at what are some of the red flags and how do you avoid them. So I'm just going to take this slowly a bit. So how do we avoid them? Now, the first thing you want to look out for in every scholarship application is the eligibility criteria. So ignoring the eligibility criteria is already a red flag. So for example, the first thing first, if they say that they want someone who have a minimum of a 2-1, for example, or someone who has a 2-2 with a master's, that's taking an example from the Commonwealth scholarship application. Trust me, you want to ensure that you meet that first eligibility criteria because that is what first admits you into the process, into the pool. So, and how do you avoid this? You want to read the fine print carefully. You want to carefully see what they say concerning grade point average, concerning field of study. There are some scholarships that are just limited to a particular field of study, right? There are some scholarships that are limited to some persons from a particular location, right? If you are from South Africa, you are from Nigeria, there are some scholarship that tells you that if you're from a particular country, you're not eligible to apply. So those are the first things you want to look out for, right? Then you have to confirm this eligibility criteria before you go forward, right? So that's one way to avoid ignoring eligibility criteria. It's a red flag for you to be screened out immediately. So you want to look out carefully to understand what they say about eligibility criteria. Then incomplete application or incorrect information. Of course, if your application is not complete, that's a no-brainer. You just know that you're out already, or you kind of give incorrect information. So how do you avoid this? You want to double check your application and you want to follow instructions and you want to proofread everything, including your essays, your statements of purpose, and everything you have written down. You want to proofread everything so that to be sure that you've crossed your T's and you've dotted your I's. Right? That's how to avoid that. So we're going to go to the next. Now, this is a very, very vital aspect of your essay application, of your scholarship application. Either you're writing a proposal, like a research proposal, or you're writing essays, or you're writing personal statement. If you write a generic or unfocused essay or personal statement, that is a red flag already. So you are being asked one thing and you're writing another thing. That is definitely a red flag. And I'll give you an example. So most master's scholarship tends, or even PhD funding programs, tend to give you a context of what they want you to write in their either in your personal statement or in your essays. So you want to tailor your essay to align with whatever they're asked. So there are so just writing a generic essay to say that some persons, when they want to write, or when they want to write a statement, they want to look for one fancy quote or one fancy words to say that I never thought I could be a star until I started aiming at the star. That's funny, right? But you just need to write a very focused essay, right? It shouldn't be here or there. You just need to see, okay, what do I need to write, and follow that outline. And I want to say that these write-up, the process of building these things, it helps you even in your write-up going forward. So you need to learn the process. So you want to tailor your essays, customize your essay to fit the specific scholarship mission. I'll give you an example. One of the things, if you're applying for a Commonwealth essay, you need to acquaint yourself with the UN SDGs. You want to acquaint yourself with that, and you want to align whatever you're writing to the Sustainable Development Goals. You want to do that. So if you're in the health sector, you want to acquaint yourself with SDG number 3 or SDG 17. Do you get that? And you want to make it align with whatever you're writing, right? Then you also want to tell your story to reflect the goal. You want to cause an alignment, right? So you want to say a unique experience that will actually and that will enhance the accomplishment or the actualization of United Nations goals. You want to say that. I'm giving an example in the light of a Commonwealth scholarship application that is really big, right? You want to discuss, you want to look for a link between what the United Kingdom is doing, right, in Nigeria, what they are doing in your country. Lastly, you also want to try to look out for what a particular university, for the case of Commonwealth Trade, for example, you want to go in depth. What is this university doing? As in, what are the universities doing in line with what I'm currently applying for? And I think that's one of the things I did in my Commonwealth application. So I'm a pharmacist. I'm very big on drugs, research, health benefits. One of the things that I actually, and I'm into oncology research, cancer research. So the institution I picked, I applied to, they are really big on cancer research. And I just went ahead to see, so what are they currently doing? What is the University of Birmingham? What are they doing currently in terms of oncology? What are the current clinical trials going? And that was what I actually wrote on. I didn't, as you say, there's no need reinventing the wheel. There's no need trying to manufacture something new that no one has heard of at all. You can actually go on the wheel. You can actually ride on the wheel that has been invented already. But how comfortable can you ride on that wheel tells how you alight your person, how you tell your story, right? So you want to do that. You want to write a focused essay and focused personal statement as well. Then we just take a brief. Now, what should a personal statement contain? Of course, a personal statement should contain a summary of your qualifications, stating the motivation behind whatever you're studying, whatever you studied, right? What was the motivation at that point in time? Has there been any shift in terms of focus? You want to do that. Then what's exciting about your study, including when you studied, what was exciting, including leadership and volunteer goals. And also, you also want to include as your academic excellence. For example, you were top 5% of your cohort, you had a first class, you had a 2-1, you had a distinction. You want to say that actually, because those are also things you're looking at for your ability to continue in that study. You also want to discuss your undergraduate project if it's exciting. You want to talk about it and what are some of the skills you've really obtained from that. Then you want to include a problem you have identified, and that's what is propelling your current studies. Then you also want to talk about future career plan, and you want to talk about your that's your short term, your mid term, and your long term career plan as well. So this is just a summary of what is expected to be in a personal statement, right? And also, so just to add, some institutions want to specify what they see. So that's why you always want to do that, right? You always want to go ahead to see what should be on the personal statement. So some institutions, especially in the US, they want to tell you what you should include in your personal statement. And please do well to include those things, because those are the rubric in which they will assess your personal statement. Okay? Then I also want to highlight briefly on how to do. So for those of us that, for those of you that would need to write a research proposal, if you're applying to some institutions, either in master's or master's in research or for PhD, you want to contribute to knowledge, right? So that's why it's an innovative title and abstract. But generally, you want to do something. Every research should be contribution to knowledge. Sometimes it may not be novel, but you want to contribute something to knowledge. But it makes sense more when it's novel, right? So you want to do a quick literature review on, then you want to ask a clear research question. Then you also want to include on that a rigorous methodology on how then your expected outcome. You want to give a timeline by doing a Gantt chart or something that tells that to say, okay, for the first couple of months, or this is what I want to achieve, this is what I want to achieve down to the conclusion of the project. You also want to include a comprehensive reference list. Okay, so we'll continue. So this is just a backtrack to say, if you need to write a research proposal, you need to write a statement of purpose. These are highlights on what it should entail in that. Okay, so in continuing the red flags, overuse of cliches. You just need to be specific, right? There are things you should not, you shouldn't overuse cliches. There are some common cliches that If you read like 10 statement of purpose, you always see it there. I want to help others. You preferably, you want to demonstrate what you have done, right? Either in research, okay, or so for example, if you're writing on volunteering and leadership roles experience, you want to speak, not you want to do this, you want to discuss what you are doing currently, right? The impact it has made, the impact it's making, right? We don't want you to just the person assessing your statement of purpose does not want you, the person assessing your statement of purpose doesn't just want you to tell, he wants you to demonstrate qualities through your experiences, through what you have done, right? So that's what he or she wants to hear. Have done this, I have done this, not I want to. Does that make sense? So this is very, very important, very important. So recently, I've been writing. So one of the valedictorian for my students, remember I told you I'm an assistant lecturer. Yeah, I started as an assistant lecturer, and I've been writing lately. I've been writing a recommendation letter for him, and within a space. So he started his application. He has a very good academic background. However, he started his application like a couple of months ago, and as I was talking now, he already has a funded offer from the US already, right? Excellent application, excellent letter of recommendation letter. And when I was actually writing a recommendation letter for him, I told him that because I've gone through the process, I don't write a recommendation letter the way the traditional, to whom it may concern. He's a good boy. Such crap shouldn't be in a recommendation letter, right? You should have a very strong and compelling recommendation letter, and that's very key. It's very, very key because sometimes we think that a recommendation letter should just be from someone that is high ranking, that is a professor, or that a lot of times some professors cannot write a compelling recommendation letter. So you want to approach someone who knows you and who have the time to really write a compelling recommendation letter. There are some recommendation letter you read, you would want to meet the individual they are talking about, right? You would want to have a chat, a one-on-one chat with he or she. So a weak or vague letter of recommendation, it's a red flag, right? It's a red flag already. So choose the right recommenders. That's how to avoid it. Select individuals who knows you well and can speak your strength and accomplishments, who can also provide guidance for you, right? Then do well to ask in advance, okay? Do it. So my last student, at some point, I think I have sent over a 30 recommendation letter for him. He has made that much application to the universities in the US, over a 30 recommendation letter. But just to say that, do well to ask in advance and reach out to those who can provide compelling recommendation letters for you. Then, of course, submitting late or missing deadlines, that's a no-no. That's a red flag. If you submit late, if you submit a minute late, and I'm not kidding, a minute late, it's a red flag, right? You want to submit way ahead of time. And sometimes, especially for applications that are there are lots of applicants for scholarships that have lots of applicants, you really want to submit way ahead, not even the day of the deadline. You want to submit way days ahead, because during the peak of submission, sometimes it's really difficult for because of network jams and all that, it's difficult for applications to go through easily. So you want to submit way ahead of time. Don't submit late minute representation submissions. Okay, so for those of us who, so this is mainly for those of us who would want to write proposals, right? I think you don't want to copy and paste from someone else's essays. You don't want to repeat essays, to just copy someone else's to say, oh, good news, can you send me your essay? And I send you my essay just to give you a guide, and you just say, okay, you know what? This is also what I want to do. This is what I want to copy. That's a red flag. Like that's a red flag already, because every institution has what's called a plagiarism checker, right? So, and most essays or most document that's submitted to their base, it goes directly through Turnitin or something else, right? So you on your own, you want to avoid that. You want your writings to be authentic and to be your writing. Okay, so please avoid that. So you don't want to talk about financial need. Sometimes if the scholarship needs you to talk about that, then you want to go ahead. But if they don't see anything, you don't want to talk about that. Overemphasis on financial need, on how poor you are or how poor you're unable to afford it. They know, they understand, they know that if you're seeking, a lot of times, if you're seeking a scholarship from a third world country to the Western country, they know that you're unable to afford that kind of education in your country. They also know that it's pretty expensive to actually fund yourself. So they know. So you don't want to look at it. So the only reason I'm doing this is because I need money, I'm broke, and all that. You don't want to overemphasize on that. Instead, you want to emphasize your academic. You want to emphasize despite your financial challenges or despite your background, this is what you have been able to accomplish, and that you have a lot more to offer. Hope that makes sense. So just to say that this is a conclusion, and I believe that I'm going to get questions, so I'm happy to answer questions, right? Even any question in regard to scholarship application that you want to ask, I'm happy to take those questions. So I'm going to conclude by saying that scholarship application process is your opportunity to showcase your best self. So I tell people this, that your CV or your resume or your application is your package. You know that they say you don't judge a book by the cover, but in scholarship application, the first judgment that you will be given, it's your cover. That is your application, right? So they judge you by your cover. It's what they see, what they present to you, right? That's what they judge you by. Okay, so they can later decide if they've made the best of decision if you need to do an interview, but the first judgment that is given to you is through your cover. And your cover, you do that through your essay, right? The essay that you write, and you also do that through your resume and your CV. I always tell people, anybody who sees my CV should want to see me. Like they should, like, I need to see the owner of the CV, right? So that should be the mindset you have when you write your CV, when you write your essays and all that, okay? So avoid common red flags can make the difference between securing funding and being overlooked. By taking the time to carefully complete your application, write a compelling and personal essay, and follow all instruction, you'll set yourself for success. Remember, quality always trumps quantity. So focus on presenting your strength in a clear and authentic manner. Thank you, and I'm happy to take some questions. Oh, thank you.
Amazing. Thank you very much. That was a very eye-opening session. Thank you for spotting out like key areas that we have to actually look out for. And I really love what you said at the ending about like somebody that sees your CV, they should want to see you at the end of reading your CV. And that's exactly why we also share our personal statement, because those kind of things will actually help whoever is reviewing your essay,
Yeah.
Want to see your personality. And like you said, they should be so drawn that they want to see you and have a conversation with you at the end of looking at your work. So thank you so much for that. That was really so spot on. Also enjoyed how you shared your story. Yeah, I think for us in the bootcamp, this has actually been like one of the best areas. Yeah, because hearing your stories actually encourages us and of course the audience, to just let them know that these things are possible. And you just kept on emphasizing that, okay, you went to get a scholarship that you already applied for and, you said no, but they still gave it to you. So yeah, these things are out there already for you if you're ready to put in the work that comes with the application process and everything. But yeah, thank you so much. I really found that extremely valuable. So for Mr. Good News section, we're going to be asking questions directly to him now, because sadly he will not be able to stay with us at the end of the session like we usually do. But yeah, if you have questions, please drop them on the chat. If you have questions directed to him, drop it on the chat and we'll go ahead to handle them straight up. Okay, I can see a couple of questions now. Gamma is asking, for Australian scholarships, how can one go about it?
Okay, should I go ahead now?
Yes, please go
Okay,
ahead.
okay, right. So I want to say this. I believe that I think Australia they have one of the best they have the best scholarship now, and I want to say this is that, however, their scholarship is mainly, so the scholarship they give to international students, it's mainly on research, as in they have more scholarship for research, right? I know that, to start with, I know that there's a global scholarship the Australian government gives to people from developing countries, including Nigeria and other Africa. If you go, I think if you just Google it, Australian government scholarship for masters, there's a general scholarship they give to people, but although it's kind of confined to some particular field of interest. However, but for research, the Australian government fund scholarship through universities. So almost all universities in Australia they have scholarship, but the scholarship is mainly for research. So it could be a master's in research or a PhD, that's a higher degree research. So either master's in research or doctoral research, right? So how do you find those scholarship? Go to the universities and check out their scholarships, right? They are fully funded. So you search for these scholarships through the university, right? So my university, for example, have series of scholarship. But what the scholarship I got is termed the University International Postgraduate Award. Yes, it's like the research training program that the Australian government offers. Is the same rate in which they fund your studies, they provide for relocation allowance, they cover for your health insurance and all that. Okay, so one way to easily find the Australian scholarship is you go to the universities and you check out for so a particular university can have like 10 different funding opportunities for international students in Australia. So basically, that's what they do. So just that. So one of the things also you need to learn if you're trying to apply for Australia scholarship is getting a supervisor, right? Hopefully, I want to believe that part of what has been covered during the course of this boot camp is how to send code mails to how to actually reach out to supervisors and all that. But that's what I did. Also, what I was looking for my PhD, I reached out to my supervisor. Then we had a conversation, we had an interview session and all that. And so once I was able to get a supervisor, it was very easy. I went to the pool for the scholarships and I got it. So that's how to go about Australia application.
Thank you so much. I don't know if you could just touch a bit about code emails. We actually touched a bit on one of the webinars, but we didn't go so in depth on that. So can you give us like some strategies, some tips to look out for when code emailing supervisors?
Okay, so yeah, I've done it. I've done it a lot. It does it so, and I've actually got feedback. So I can say how to do it. So basically, if you want to, the first thing first, if you want to reach out to a supervisor, I think you want to know the person. That the person doesn't know you, but you want to know the person. You want to know whoever you're reaching out to. And how do you know that? You go to the person's handle, the person's website, or the person's bio, either in the school database. You just want to check, okay, what does this person do? What are some of the research? Okay, you want to also check, importantly, you want to check what's the current research the person is undertaking now in his or her lab. It must not be lab-based. So like whatever kind of research the person is doing, you want to check that. Is there a recent publication the person just released now that you have read and it makes sense to you? Because you want to look out for, you want to get a common ground of conversation in your cold email. And the person has done a particular work, you have looked at that work, you have interest, it makes sense to you. So that is kind of a common line you want to say. So you want to reach out to the professor or to the doctor to say that, okay, this is who I am, this is what I've done, I'm interested in what you're doing. This is skill. This is what I can bring. I can contribute to the. This is what I can contribute to your ongoing research. This is my background. Okay, so you just want to do that. Then you say that, oh, you're expecting a feedback. Then you have attached your CV. So whatever you say that you have done, you've attached you. It's great to do. Like in Australia, they are big on that. They want to see your transcripts, they want to see your results, they want to see that mainly. If you have research publication that you have done in line with what that person is doing, you want to also say that. You want to summarize that. So perhaps you want to summarize that. Then if you have, let's assume you have so much to say, then you want to attach a cover letter as well. So the cover letter will not be in the body of the mail. But you want to try as much as possible not to make the body of the mail so long, because trust me, these supervisors, they don't have time to go through everything you have to say. So you want to summarize it, but if you have so much to say, you want to attach a cover letter to it. So if they progress from reading that your email, that means they were captivated by whatever you've said, and then they want to, that's only when they can open that cover letter, right? So what should be in a cold email? First thing first is to read about whoever you're reaching out to. Just have an idea of what they are doing. Then you now say your interests, right? By also demonstrating some of the skills you bring into that work that they are doing, right? So basically, I think that should be the summary of a cold email.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that.
Yeah.
Really very helpful. I'm going to answer this question by Ifirire. Ifirire is asking, very timely webinar, sir. God bless you, sir. I have a question. Is there a page limit for personal statements? Can your personal statement be 3 pages? I think when it comes to personal statements, especially with the length, it depends on the application. Some applications will tell you clearly whether it's 500 words, 1,000 words, and all of that. But your application would actually are usually very clear on that. So if you really confirm whatever maybe scholarship you're applying to or school you're applying to, they're always very clear. The next question is by Baka Abbas. Is it a good idea to draft a recommendation letter myself when permitted by my recommender? Good news.
Well, this is a bit tricky. Well, if your recommender says, to be fair, if your recommender says that you should draft it, and your recommender is being sincere, he's being sincere to you that I think you should draft it, then perhaps I'm going to also tweak it a little bit. Yeah, I don't think your recommender has given you, because sometimes our recommenders are not really able to sit down to now really want, so they just want to say, so what do you want me to say? Draft it, right? And just send it to me and I'm gonna tweak it. So I think it's a good idea. And you on your own, you have an idea of what should be in what you want your recommender to tell the people about you. Truth is, you have the best idea on what you want your recommender to actually tell the people about you. So for me, if your recommender gives you that privilege to do it, I think you should go ahead to do it.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
And another thing you can also do is to also give your recommender context on your referee.
Definitely.
You can send them your CV.
Yes, definitely. No, in fact, you should send your CV to anyone that wants to recommend you. Definitely should send them your CV. That's a must.
Yes, thank you. I think I will just follow up with this question to you. CJ is asking, thanks for the light shed on recommendation letters. Please, do I need to get one from a professor in my department, even if I have work-related ones?
If you have a professor in your department that knows you and is willing to provide, by all means, yes, you should. But it's not a must. It's not a must. But I would want to say that for a master's program and for it's good if you can, if you want to get, if you think that you have sufficient work experience, right, you should. But as I said, if you have a professor, the person doesn't have to be a professor, by the way. It doesn't have to be a professor. Even a lecturer that is not a senior lecturer can provide. I provide a recommendation for my students. And they like me to provide a recommendation for them because they like how I write and how I'm able to actually demonstrate them. So it is how well can the person that is someone that is not in the same level with you, how well can that person demonstrate right for you? right? So by all means, if you have a professor that is willing to provide a robust and compelling references, are fine. But if you don't, you don't have to. It's not a must. You should get one from a professor. Gone are those days you think that a letter from professor is what gives you a ticket to a scholarship. Nah, it doesn't work like that.
I agree, absolutely. Think we'll have 5 minutes more so that we could go to the next session.
Okay.
The next question I would ask is from Ade Suwa. I'm a pharmacist currently in the NYSC phase, and I'm currently deeply interested in oncology research. I would
Okay.
like to ask, oh, I didn't read this completely. I would like to ask if Good News is open to mentorship and how best I can reach out to him. What do you think?
Well, I'm actually open to mentorship. It's just that you would, in the mentorship, you will have to bear with me because we're what's apart, okay? But fine, yeah. I'm happy. The little way you can actually reach out to me via LinkedIn. Just send me a request and I'll accept. Then, I'm happy to help best way I can.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Next question is, I saw that you have to apply for specific projects in universities and reach out to the project supervisors. How can I make a best impression when reaching out to them?
Yeah, I think I've said something about that. So I'll give an example. So in my training at the University of Birmingham, my research, so I did a master's in clinical oncology, but my research, my thesis was on head and neck cancer. I was trying to look at the role of zinc supplementation in mitigating radiotherapy, that's chemoradiotherapy induced mucositis head and neck cancer patients. So to start with, one of the kind of research I was looking out for was research surrounding head and neck cancer. Right, that was the kind of research I was looking out for. Although I also had interest in breast cancer, so I could do other, because even my second master's, my research that I did was in breast cancer. So for example, if I didn't get my PhD before I got my PhD placement before I got my second master's, I'll be looking out for research that include both head and neck cancer or breast cancer. Now, that is not to say that is only what I can look out for. There's what's called transferable skills. So transferable skills are skill sets you've gotten from a particular project, and you are able to, you know that you can use this skill in another project, right? So how you make a first impression is try to get a glimpse of whatever supervisor you're reaching out to. Try to get a glimpse, like an understanding on what they are doing. What are the skills required? And what are some of the skill sets you have gotten so far? And also some of the skill sets you need to get. So when you are having a conversation with them on your cold email, mention that you have gotten the skills, right? That you're interested in whatever project they are doing, and you have the skills. You can apply it to your project, right? You're interested, and these are your skills, right? You believe that you'll be able to gain more skills, but you can apply the skills. So it must not be in your particular field. You could have interest in something else. However, you can transfer the skills you've gotten from previous research into this current research. I don't know if that makes sense. Yeah, so with that, you can actually make a first impression. You've gotten the skills and you can use the skills for them and all that.
Awesome. Thank you very much. I think if a reviewer is following up with a personal statement question, I would like to hear your thoughts on this. It's a personal statement for a graduate application. University asks for it, more like an SOP.
Yeah.
Is there a page limit because the school did not mention a page limit earlier on?
Okay. So the thing is, a lot of schools, they tell you 2 pages. Yes, and I want to think that, so that should be like a blanket, but a lot of schools will tell you their word count, instead of page limit. They'll tell you like 1,000, I think 1,500, 1,000, right? They tell you that. And I believe it's best to write concisely. So schools in the Western world, they like quality other than quantity. You want to write concisely. In fact, when you start schooling, you discover that every task you're giving, it's a word. It's based on word count, down to your thesis. It's not like our undergraduate tests in Nigeria where if you like write 100,000, nobody cares. And I don't think anybody even read your work from start to finish. But anyways, here everything is what counts. So you would on your own want to limit whatever you write, right? So I want to recommend if from experience, if they don't ask for what can you want to limit whatever you're writing to like 2 pages, so which is about 1,000 words to 1,000 or 1,005. Do you understand? If they don't state it, but most application would want to state their number of words.
Awesome. Thank you. I think for the sake of time, we'll answer one more question and then we'll move on to the next one. Jerry Sunday is asking, for Commonwealth Shared Scholarship regarding professional reference letter, can my referee use their personal email with a letter heading as their official email is not available?
Can you that question? Can you take the question again?
Yes,
Can
sure.
the referee use a personal email?
Yes, a personal email, like the one that doesn't have like a professional ending, maybe like at gmail.com or
I
at
get.
yahoo.com.
I'm
Yeah.
trying to remember. So does Commonwealth did Commonwealth state specifically that I don't think it must not be an official email, but the letter should be an official letter headed paper. Or must it be? I don't think
Let me read the question again. For Commonwealth Shared Scholarship regarding professional reference letter,
Yes.
can my referee use their personal email with a letter heading as their official email address is not available? I think, let me just share a thought on that.
No, I think
strongly,
okay,
yeah.
so I think what the person is trying to say is like an official email, using an official email.
Can they use a personal email that it has a letterhead, for the reference letter, than using a professional email because they don't have like a professional email address?
Yeah, but you understand what? So a professional email, for example, I work with Delta State University. I have a professional email, which carries Delta State University, right? Not my own personal name. So what I believe what the person is trying to ask is that because I think you will need to supply the person's email when applying for Commonwealth Shared. You need to supply the email address.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the person is asking if they can go ahead with a personal email address instead of a professional email address.
Yes.
Well, I think so. Because I think so. I think what is most profound, what is most important is that the letter, as in whatever letter the person is going to write, should be on a letter headed, like an official letter headed, but not the email in itself. However, if you can get a referee that has an official email, I think that would be better. That would be better because for me, I think during my Commonwealth, one of them that submitted was not. I didn't have it. It wasn't a professional email. It was a personal email, but the letter headed was a professional letter headed. So that's my question. That's my response for that.
Oh wow, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, another thing you could also do, Jerry, is you could also send an email to Commonwealth Shared to also clarify. But I think it's really good that Good News has shared his ideas as well on this. Okay, I think with that we would come to an end of this session. I don't know about anyone else, so I really found a lot of value from this, and want to say a very big thank you to you. Good News for taking out your time. I don't know what time it is. Is it 7 a.m. right now?
It's 7 a.m. past 7.
Yeah, so imagine, thank you for making our time to be with us and sharing your insights and knowledge from us.
All right.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah,
All
bye-bye,
right, thank you
guys.
so
I need
much.
to leave now.
Yeah. All right, thank you.
Okay.
Okay, all right, everyone. I think I would go ahead to speak because it's my session right now. And I'm really so excited to be speaking on a very, very crucial and important topic. So just 1 second so I can share my screen. Then we can commence. Okay. All right. So good evening, everyone. My name is Victory, and I am the host and convener for the Class Ending Scholarship Bootcamp. And tonight, which is the grand finale of our bootcamp, I'm really so excited to be talking about a topic that I feel is very, very important for anyone, looking out for scholarships, anyone looking out to explore opportunities when it comes to scholarship application, I believe this session is really going to be helpful to you, and it's really helped to give you the clarity and the insights that you need to get to discover more scholarships. All right, so here's an overview of what I'll be talking about. I'll be starting by sharing why uncommon and unpopular scholarships are important. I will be sharing the mindset that you need to have to find uncommon and unpopular scholarships. I will be giving you 7 unique strategies on how to find the scholarships. And last but not the least, I'll be sharing 50 scholarships, database, and resources that can help you get started on looking out for the scholarships. So without further ado, let's get started. So why look out for uncommon and unpopular scholarships? The truth is, when it comes to scholarships, there's a lot of things that goes into scholarship application itself. It's demanding, it takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of resources. I used to tell my friends that, or people that ask for advice, I tell them that applying for scholarship is a full-time job in itself. So what I want you to do is, what I want to help you out of this webinar is to show you how to make it a bit, more productive, and to show you insights on areas that you probably are not looking out for. Because sometimes when you talk about scholarships, people are very eager to go ahead to, oh, they know the big names already. That's the big ones they want to get first. There's nothing wrong with that. I personally, when I was applying for scholarships, I applied for all the big name scholarships. Like, I literally went through all the big names, call all of them. I went through every single one of them, the application and all of that. Personally, it helped me because it helped to refine my essays. It helped me understand what I was looking out for. It helps me make it helped to make my application. It helped to make my application, sorry about that. It helped make my application a bit stronger. And every single application I made was better than the last one I made. So nothing wrong about those big scholarships. However, beyond all of that, you want to understand that you are doing something that, again, is worthwhile and, again, is demanding. So one of the things I also strongly advise people to do is do not put all your eggs in one basket. There is nothing wrong with chasing big scholarships, but there are other opportunities that might, you are not looking out for right now because you might be too clouded with all of the other things going on. And what these uncommon scholarships will help you do is that, because these scholarships in themselves, they have lower competition. It helps you to, at least you will get sometimes you get an interview, at least you get to move on the stage of the journey itself. And most times these uncommon scholarships, they are like an hidden pool of opportunity. They are also tailored to like specific eligibility, for example, based on your country, based on a particular field, based on a particular niche. And these are opportunities that are available to aspiring scholars as apart from like the mainstream areas. And of course, most importantly, what most of these uncommon scholarships help you do is that they help you stand a chance, at least in the scholarship pool itself. So there is nothing wrong applying for bigger scholarships, the big name brands, the big name, opportunity. There's absolutely nothing wrong with them. I even strongly encourage you to do that because those ones, they help you to think through the process. They help you to build your application, make your application even stronger. However, don't put your egg in one basket. Spread your wings and fly because there are a lot of opportunities out there for you. Okay, so let's see what exactly makes a scholarship uncommon or unpopular. Because of the amount of work that goes into finding uncommon scholarships, the truth is not all of them are actually covered by the media. When I say media, I'm talking about like a top websites that actually share opportunities about scholarship. Not every single one of them share this because, again, they are not so popular. And because they're not so popular, nobody really wants to or even is even aware that they exist. Another thing that makes some scholarships unpopular or uncommon is that they are usually hosted by smaller institutions. You have very highly niche organizations. And again, they are highly focused on a particular country or a particular region or a particular discipline. And some of these scholarships are also focused on your value. For example, if you have leadership skills, if you have community service interests, if you're a faith-based organization, interest kind of thing. So those kind of scholarships are out there, but because of how very highly narrowed they are, not everyone is aware that these things actually exist. But guess what? In tonight's webinar, I'm going to show you how to find out the scholarships. I'm going to give you resources. I'm going to give you about 50 of them. But beyond me giving this to you, I'm going to show you the step-by-step process that can help you get even more scholarships that even me, I'm not even aware of. So the goal of this webinar is to build you to an extent where you are aware of the steps on how to find the scholarships. And then you can go on your own path to find out that these are the scholarships that are in alignment with your interests and, keep them a shot in your application. But first things first, there's a mindset that you need to have to find these uncommon and unpopular scholarships. Again, because they are uncommon, because they are unpopular, trust me, there is a lot of work that goes into them. So much work. And that's exactly why a lot of persons, they don't even bother to look out for them. A lot of persons, they don't even bother to even want to find out that these things, are available or within reach. So this is the reason you need to have these 3 key areas that I'm going to share in this webinar. So the very first mindset I strongly advise that you have when you want to look for uncommon and popular scholarship is a mindset of curiosity. My first question to you right now is, how curious are you about finding scholarships? Because this uncommon scholarship, they're very hidden. Not like very hidden. Let me not make it look so weird. Well, they are actually tucked away in particular like departmental pages on school websites. They are tucked away in faculty announcements, niche communities, and you only find them when you are curious enough to go beyond the page 1 of Google, or when you are curious enough to go beyond the big crowded scholarship platforms. So curiosity is what makes you click the next page of Google, read deeper, explore new countries, explore new fields, explore funding bodies that you never even knew existed. And if you approach your scholarship application process with this mindset, trust me, you will start noticing opportunities that people had never heard of. The second mindset you need to have to find this uncommon and popular scholarship, because again, it is a lot of work. The second mindset is research. How much time are you willing to put into the research work? Because this scholarship don't show up through guesswork. They show up through intentional digging. The people winning the scholarship, they're not necessarily smarter. They are just more consistent, they are more thorough, and they are more willing to look out for areas where people are not looking out for. So what this means is that when you are doing research, you are going beyond the idea of, oh, I just want a scholarship. You are going to check scholarships. You are going to check schools, their faculty pages. You are following on LinkedIn research labs. You are tracking funding opportunities. You are reading their eligibility criteria carefully. You are exploring professional bodies and industries. You are monitoring scholarship website. A lot of this is work. And it is unpopular because people do not take up the time to find them. The third mindset that you need to have to find uncommon or popular scholarship is that you need a plan. You need a schedule you need a plan to do the research, like I said, a plan to do the application, a plan to tweak your CV to align to that particular scholarship, a plan to take action, a plan to track your deadlines, a plan to ensure that your document is ready, a plan to ensure that you follow up if you're reaching out to professor, a plan to follow up to those person, because it's not enough to find. You have to take action, because if you do not take action, then you find these opportunities is worthless. There is no point to find these opportunities. So when you combine curiosity, when you combine research and add it to having a plan, the truth is you get to find opportunities that 90% of persons do not have. And I know I'm going to share 50 opportunities and resources and scholarships. What made me find those things was I did the exact 3 steps and I'm pointing out to you. I was curious to find those opportunities. I was curious to make out time to do the research. I was curious to create a schedule to help me find, apply, and take action. So I'm going to be sharing the key areas, that can help you find uncommon and unpopular scholarship. Number 1 is my favorite, so I'm going to spend time on this because I literally took my time when I was looking for scholarships to do this. Number one search strategy for finding unpopular and uncommon scholarship is university scholarships. The truth is, most universities, they hide internal, let me not say hide. Oh God, I'm sorry, but you get what I'm saying. They're not hidden, but they are just there, but people are not seeing it. Anyway, most universities offer hidden internal funding opportunities. They have departmental scholarships, some have faculty-specific scholarships, some have international student scholarship, some have graduate assistantships. But guess what? You would probably not see all of this on the first page of the website. I promise you. Go and give it a try. You won't see it on the first page. It takes a lot of digging, a lot of research to find out where the scholarships are. Again, I'm going to show like a step by step on, how to do this. So areas you can find these opportunities are on the graduate school, the university graduate school website, on the departmental pages, on the faculty announcement pages, and most importantly, most schools actually have a section where they call funding and financial support website pages. Trust me, this is gold. You see this last point? That is where the gold lies. And that is where a lot of persons don't even bother to search, or probably they're not even aware that this kind of thing exists. All right, so let's go ahead to look at a very crucial area, or step by step on how to do this. For example, this particular school I'm going to be sharing is one I even got a scholarship from. So let's go on Google. So I already made my search out to Google. Can you guys still see my screen? Or is it just can you guys still see my screen? School I'm going to be sharing. Can you see my screen, guys? Sharing my Google screen.
Yes, please, you can.
Okay, my Google, not my slides. All right, perfect. So all of these tabs, trust me, there are things I'm going to show you one after the other. So don't be scared that I have a lot of tab open. I'm opening them up because of you, so I could actually show you step by step. Okay, so one of the schools I actually got the unpopular scholarship from was Cranfield University. And okay. Let me see if I wanted to say something else. Okay, sorry. Let me say this first before I go to that. All right, so when it comes to looking out for university scholarships, the first thing that you should start is with self-reflection. Because when you know that these are the type of scholarships available, it's easy to get overwhelmed with where to start from. Always start with yourself. As with any other application, start with yourself. What countries do you want to target? What countries are you imagining yourself being a part of? So what I did when I was looking for scholarships, I outlined the top 3 countries that I wanted to be a part of, or I wanted to I saw myself, doing a master's degree on, fully funded. So one of them was the UK. So what I did was I started with a Google search on Google University in the United Kingdom, and then I did a couple of research and all of that. I can remember very clearly, I had a particular spreadsheet and I had more than 100 universities. I'm not joking, like more than 100 universities outlined one after the other. The university, their name on the particular column. The next column had their website link. The next column had their funding and financial aid link. The next column had scholarship that I knew I had interest in. The next column had if I'm going to apply, when I'm going to apply, deadline. Like I had a spreadsheet for this exact point I'm trying to point. 100 schools in the UK. So what I did again was go on Google University in the United Kingdom. So I went to those universities. I went to their website one after the other, looking out for the kind of scholarship that I felt were going to align to what I was looking out for. And yeah, so let's go. So one of them was Cranfield. Again, I had a wonderful spreadsheet for that. So how to find scholarships on university website. So I went to Google, typed Cranfield University. This is their own page. I'm currently on their own page. I won a scholarship from there. And this is where this is where the magic happens. No, not magic. This is where the good thing happens. Most times you will get to find funding and financial aid on some of the sections here, but sometimes you will not find it here. So how do you find it? You search one after the other. Click on the drop boxes to see if anything comes out. Yeah, it's taking me somewhere else. So I go back because I know there is something here for me. So yeah, you just wait a bit, you hover a bit, and then it will come out. I'm looking out for guess what I'm looking out for? I'm looking out for funding and financial aid on the website. I'm not seeing on this side, so I'm going to go for the next one. The next one. See what I'm seeing here. Application guide, open days. This is this. Search bursaries. See what I'm seeing now. Can you see this? Student funding and scholarships. You can come here again. You see student funding and scholarships. So let me go here because I'm looking for third degree. I'm not looking for a research degree. So I go here, click on student funding and scholarship. And guess what it did? It took me directly to their funding page. Their funding page. And if I scroll down, you will see that there are a lot of scholarships that they are offering that are in affiliation with the school. So you scroll down, you look out for what they have, and then you can see they have loans, they have other, but my interest is something like this. And guess what? They have a specific link for scholarships, so funding finder. So let me click on it. And then see, they have over 131 scholarships available. So what I did, I went through every single one of these ones, looking out for every single one of these tabs for specific scholarships that were in alignment with what I was looking out for. And the one I actually won was, I think it was a women's scholarship, from them. So this is one of the easiest way to find uncommon and unpopular scholarship, guys. Imagine targeting, for example, for me, I targeted UK and I had a list of 100 schools. Imagine it's a lot of work, like I said. Imagine going to those schools one after the other and outlining specifically like the funding and financial aid parts, and then looking out for scholarships that you know are in alignment to what you want, so that it's fully funded and all of that, whether it aligns to like a specific niche and all of that. So by doing this, I was able to find a couple of scholarships. So that is one thing I would strongly advise you to do. So another university, just to make it a bit more clearer, another university is the University of, what's it called? Is Aglia. So if I go there, you see, this is their main website, just to make you know that this is not just one school. And if you scroll down, you see, let's look out for their scholarships. Oh, see, it just pop up by itself anyway. Oh, good. So you see, find a scholarship. Click on it, and guess what? Scholarship finder. So most of these schools, they already have like opportunities available for you. So if I click on postgraduate, because that's the kind of scholarship I'm interested for, it will show you the scholarships available within the schools. So please, guys, don't sleep on this. If you are looking for scholarships, go to universities, outline them, and look out for their fees and funding or their scholarship parts, and then it will give you an idea of all that they're looking for. Another thing I will also advise you to do if you're looking out for scholarships is that you can use platforms that already has a list of the scholarships. What do I mean? So we have World University Rankings. For example, we have the Times Higher Education World University Rankings. We have QS World University Rankings. We have US News and World Reports. All of these links, they are already in my Google Sheets spreadsheet. So I'm going to show it at the end of the webinar as a comment on this webinar. And yeah, if you're in our email list, you're going to get them as well. So, and if you're in our WhatsApp group for the bootcamp, you're going to get it too. So, but just get what I'm trying to point out. This website already lists out the number of schools ranking. So let's go. I have a couple of sites open already. So just to save time and to just ensure you're following and not being distracted by, okay. I'm not seeing what I want to do now because this thing is stopping me. Okay, yeah, so these are them. This is it. So this is World University Ranking, the Times Higher World University Ranking, having a list of schools in different regions. This is QS World University Rankings, having list of, this is Uni Rank. So just to give you an example, especially for those of you that haven't tried this before. So this is QS. Again, I have all the links on the spreadsheet. So just follow so you are understanding what I'm saying. If you click on this, it will take you to the list of universities in the US. This is actually US. Okay, yeah, this is UK as well. So it will take you, okay, this is World University Ranking. So it's showing you the schools ranking worldwide. So if you're like, I don't know where to start from, you can either go on Google, type universities in the United Kingdom, like I did, to just have a list of all the universities in the United Kingdom, or you can just go straight to a platform like this to look at the schools one after the other, and then check the schools one after the other, like I did, to find out if they have fees and funding and scholarships that are specific to what you're looking for. Another platform that you could use is UniRank. UniRank has top 200 if you're looking for a particular region. So this is North America, Latin America, Europe, Africa, Asia. So if you're like, oh, I already have a region in mind, you can use a platform like this, and then it will take you straight to, let's click on this one, top 200 universities in Europe. So you can see all the universities here. You can go to their website one after the other to look out for their fees and funding, the scholarship sites, and to help you find out if there's anything that is going to align with your scholarship interest. Okay, so let's go back. So yeah, you get this at the end of the webinar. Okay. So the next way to find scholarship opportunities in university platforms by going to world rankings like this. And another way you could also find scholarship, because some of people actually go and check to those scholarships, those websites, and you realize that they don't have a specific fees and funding area. They don't have a specific scholarship area. So what you can do is use this particular key phrase. So I'm going to show you how it's done. So this is a key phrase for, like, this is a constant key phrase, sites, column, the website you're looking for, and then the keyword you want to look for in that website. So for example, if you go to their homepage, you're not seeing a fees and funding or a scholarship, financial aid tab, like I showed you right now. You can use this way to find a specific keyword on a website. Let's do it together because I want this to be as practical as possible. All right, so, okay, let's go on Google now and type that sites slash, let me click on this. So let's look for what particular, let's say we're looking for a scholarship on Imperial College. So we go there, sites, this, the name, and then scholarship. So see what is going to happen. What this does is that it shows me every single website page on this main website that has the word scholarship. So sites, column, the website you're looking out for, and then the keyword you want to look for. So if I scroll down now, every single page that has the word scholarship is what is showing up. So for example, if there was no phrase with the word scholarship in this website, you will just see everything blank. But because there are pages on this website that has the word scholarship, it's making me see that, okay, well, these are the pages I can look out for. I can go after one after the other to check out if there are scholarships that align to what I'm looking for. So you can see external scholarships. You can see Women in France scholarship, scholarship blog, scholarship and bursary. So this is a way that you can, for example, if you're not seeing a particular tab or a web page on scholarship, this is how you can find if they have scholarship in store for you. So that's how to find that for universities. And if you're not seeing, for example, if you're not seeing scholarship, you can use other keywords like funding. Sorry, excuse me. Other keywords you can use are like funding, financial aid, financial support, just to help you find out what specific keywords on these things are in the website. All right, so let's move on to the next point or next way on finding scholarships. I think I have to run now. The next way on how to find scholarships is by looking out for government, ministries, and bilateral agreements. I know when we talk about uncommon or popular scholarships, the truth is these are also a very strong area to look out for because people overlook them because they assume scholarships are for only bigger national brands. Why should I look out for a government? But in reality, there are government ministries, departments, and bilateral partnerships that already exist, and they sponsor thousands of students every single year. Let me break it down. Most countries have ministries. You get. dedicated to education, Ministry of Education, Ministry of Science. I don't know what it's called in your country. You can figure out what it's called in your country. Ministry of Technology, Agriculture, Petroleum, Health, Environment, Foreign Affairs, name all of them. And most of them fund fully or partially funded study abroad programs. So what this does is sometimes it encourages and supports international exchange programs, scholarships that get at developing countries, specialized STEM trainings, teaching and education scholarships, a lot of sector-specific programs, for example, petroleum, agriculture, health, etc. So these ministries already have dedicated budgets that must be used each year. So sometimes people are not even aware that this exists because the few people that are aware, they get to maximize this. Another area that these government scholarships are under is bilateral agreements, because these are agreements between two countries to partner together to fund students, as part of like maybe a diplomatic or a cultural cooperation or thereabout. So what these scholarships also do is that they fund, like, for example, it could be your tuition, your stipend, your travel, your language training, your visa. A lot of these are not popular because they don't even check. Many people don't even check their Ministry of Foreign Affairs or national scholarship website. So this is somewhere you should look out for. So why is this area very important? It's because sometimes competition for this scholarship are usually very low. They are not usually advertised on mainstream platforms. Many people are even unaware that your ministry funds international programs. People are only waiting out for like the big names. So the truth is, this is a very important strategic area to look out for if you are looking out for uncommon scholarships. So I gave a couple of examples. Oh yeah, so let's start. I'd like to look at this particular scholarship from a global worldwide area. So this is the globe of the world, And what I really advise you to do is have, for example, 3 specific regions or continents, or let's say 1 or 2, doesn't have to be a lot, because there are a lot of opportunities already available. Have a particular region or continent that you are interested in, and go and dig out for the specific government scholarship available in that particular region. Trust me, you will see a lot of them. But it all starts with you having interest in this and in you doing the work to make out the research, because there are opportunities available even in your own country that you do not know. I'm sharing this with so much passion because I personally got a scholarship, NEC scholarship, that was sponsored by my own country, Nigeria. So to make it easy for you, I have made a list of I've made, oh, sorry, this is the wrong one. Oh my goodness, I made the wrong slide. All right, I'm going to make sure I update this because this is not the slide I wanted to do. But I had a list of about 20 government scholarships. I'm so sorry. 20 government scholarships that are available for you. So I'm going to share the document on the spreadsheet document on the comments. So I had it on the slide, but I think I missed up the slides. 20 government scholarships available for you to take advantage of. All right, so I think let me just go to this. Yeah, so this is it. Yeah, so this is the spreadsheet I'm going to be sharing at the end. I think this is, yeah, so this is it. Let me just share it now for the sake of, oh no, this is not it. Oh, sorry. I just want to make sure. No. Anyway, so this is it. So these are like the 20 government scholarships available already, so you can check them out. A lot of them are very, very, very useful for you. Like I said, this is the one I got. I got the Niger Delta Development Commission funded by my country, Nigeria, to go study in the United Kingdom. You could also search some of these ZECH government scholarships, Swiss government scholarship. A lot of them also offer opportunities for international applicants to come study in the particular country. So go check them out. I will drop the link on the comments. So let's move on. All right, so the next area that I want you to look out for when looking out for Unpopular and Common Scholarship is niche scholarships. So the scholarship I got from Cranfield University was to sponsor for women scholarship. So yeah, that was the one I got. So these particular scholarships, they are, like the word says, niche. They are created for very specific groups of people, which means the applicant pool is much lower and the competition might be slightly lower as well. So they are tailored to people in specific groups, for example, gender, maybe women-focused STEM scholarships, scholarships for women in leadership, etc. Religious affiliation, for example, Christian, Muslim, Jewish scholarship, often funded by faith-based organizations or foundations. Another example are underrepresented groups, for example, refugees, migrants, first-generation students, minorities. Another part is tribe and ethnicity. For example, tribal communities, support groups, ethnic-based awards. And there are also scholarships for disability as well. Visually impaired students, persons with physical disabilities, neurodivergent students. So all of these are available to help fund and empower inclusion, diversity, representation, and equity. So please look out for these areas. Another area is that in contribution to niche scholarship is scholarship based on social contribution. So many scholarships reward people who have demonstrated community service. You have led in particular volunteers. You have worked in specific social areas. So if you have any form of community service, even small ones, for example, even tutoring kids, or maybe you've organized a drive or volunteered in a party, in your church, in your mosque, you mentored young people, scholarships like that are available. I'm going to show you examples. So these are very important because you are not competing with an entire continent. It is highly niched. And the requirements for these scholarships, they are very specific. And application reviewers, they are deeply committed to actually support this group. So they are looking out for key qualities that they would have probably outlined in the eligibility criteria. So it means your chances of winning could possibly be higher. And these kind of scholarships, because they are highly niched, your story is very relatable to the application reviewers, and then it could be impactful. So I want you to make out time to become self-aware of your background, of your identity, or maybe there are things that you already have lived, and you don't even know that maybe because I am a underrepresented group, you're not even aware that things like this exist. So let's look at examples to drive home the point. So these are examples of niche scholarships. So we have the AAUW International Fellowship. This is gender-based for women. You can see the link on my screen. Fully funded scholarship supporting women pursuing graduate or postgraduate studies. We have Women Tech Makers Scholarship, Google, Gender, Women. We have King Faisal Scholarship Group for Muslim students. So it's funds Muslim students globally for postgraduate studies in various fields. We have the Gates Millennium Scholars Program, underrepresented groups, US minorities, fully funded for African American, UNCF scholarships, underrepresented groups for Black students. You can see scholarships. So yeah, all of this, they are literally available for you to go and assess. Okay, let's move on to the next. Yeah, so these are a couple more niche scholarships that you could take advantage of. And yeah, let's look out for industry-based scholarships. So these are scholarships that are usually available by specific industries, big companies, big brands, industries, and for example, unions and professional bodies. And these are a couple of areas that they fund, but trust me, there are a lot more than this. So let's look at this. And yeah, so we have Shell, Niger Delta postgraduates, fully funded UK. We have Google, Anita B, Women in Tech, Funds Top Women in Tech. You see that? We have PhD. If you're looking out for PhD opportunities, you can see and check. We have Coca-Cola Scholars. You can see it here. We have Rotary Peace. You can see here. So you could also check them out to see which of them aligns to the specific industry you're looking out for. Yeah, so this is more on the next slides. Johnson & Johnson, global mental health. You can see healthcare. You can see for IMF economics program. You can see, so yeah, definitely check all of these out to see which one aligns to your interest. Okay, so a very crucial area that is a gold mine. I know I've said this word a lot, but trust me, LinkedIn is the gold mine for scholarship opportunities. LinkedIn is underestimated, but it's a very important tool if you are looking out for scholarships, because the people that are looking for scholars to apply for their programs, trust me, they have a profile on LinkedIn. It's like a universe in itself that has all the universities you're looking for, they have a LinkedIn profile. The scholarship bodies you're looking for, they have a LinkedIn profile. The professors, for example, you're looking out for research assistant positions. The professors, they have a LinkedIn profile. The alumni, the funding organization, they are all in one place. And where is that place? LinkedIn. And the scholarships shared here are sometimes not the ones on websites. For example, most of the research assistant positions, they will just post it on LinkedIn and ask for, they're looking for RAs in Pacific areas, and that's it. So because scholarship programs and all of these are usually posted first on LinkedIn, most times actually. So you see a lot of callings for RA, TA openings, and departmental fundings, fellowship updates directly from LinkedIn before it even goes anywhere. So if you are active on LinkedIn, trust me, you are doing yourself a really good thing. When I mean active, you're not just having a profile, your profile is just sitting and collecting docs. No, you are actually looking out for opportunities. Because another way to look at LinkedIn is there are humans there that you can connect to, real people. The scholars that you're looking up to, they have a LinkedIn profile. So these are a few ways you can actually usually looking to find a research opportunity. People share opportunities, for example, on LinkedIn before it becomes popular. So scholarship winners, they love to give back. They will post tips, share funding updates, they will share deadlines, essay guidance, and even little known awards that help them. So these opportunities that many people never even hear about until it's late. Number two area on how LinkedIn helps you is that, like I said, most RA and TA positions, teaching assistant and research assistant positions, they rarely make it to official pages immediately. They will eventually, but not like immediately. But a lot of these professors, they will post looking for postgraduate or graduate research assistant for spring 2026, fully funded PhD opportunity in my lab. So this is how people are already securing fundings without even applying to public website calls for it. Another thing you can do on LinkedIn is you can follow specific keywords and hashtags. You can follow keywords like scholarship, funding, research assistant, and then it just gives you a list of opportunities that are there. And last but not the least thing that you can do with LinkedIn is that you can build a personal brand on LinkedIn. And with this personal brand, you are able to attract opportunities to yourself. All right, so let's look at other opportunities, other ways. Like I mentioned, professors, labs, and research groups, they are always very active on LinkedIn. They are always very active on it. So research funding tied to your professors, you can find them on the professor's website or their web pages. You can also find them posting it on LinkedIn. So please go out on LinkedIn if you are not already there. Another way, you can also use a platform like, for example, Google Scholar or ResearchGate. If there was a particular document, or should I say research paper, that you read and you saw that there are particular authors of those paper that you had their writings were very good, you can connect with them on LinkedIn, or you can even probably go check them out on LinkedIn to see if they have a lab and see if that lab aligns with your interest, and check out if they have particular fundings available in their, because most of these professors, they have their own websites, and they also have like a research lab. So you can check either the professor's webpage, the one you read on Google Scholar, and if their writing was perfect or spot on, you can check them out and see how that is going to help you to get to find a lot of more opportunities on LinkedIn that are not already on school's websites, and get to build a brand from there and connect with these people. So the next thing is, like I said, use specific keywords and said, I'm actually I have to run because I'm taking a lot of time on my session. So you can search for particular keywords. You can also follow universities and international organizations on LinkedIn. You can also follow scholarship alumni on LinkedIn and connect with professors. Most of these schools you're looking out to be a part of, they have live sessions that are open to everybody. And most of those live sessions are a way to educate you on how to understand what they are looking out for when they are assessing scholarship applications. So by following those platforms on LinkedIn, by keeping your eyes on their website, you are able to find out what they're looking out for, and then your application is going to be stronger than somebody that is not even aware of what those people are looking out for. So last but not the least strategy is use scholarship databases. The reason I shared the university is that sometimes most of these databases might not cover all the scholarships available. So you should rely on, you should not, okay. You can use them, but not like fully. Don't wait till like it's up on their website because they have thousands of persons already waiting for them to post. So what chance do you stand from them? Again, they are a very good option, but I also strongly recommend that you also do your research by yourself because not every single scholarship database has all the information you need. So the best way to maximize these scholarship databases is by filtering by your field. What field are you looking at for? Most of them have a website that has all of those things outlined for you. You can filter by country, you can filter by deadlines, or even look out for scholarship that must have closed. For example, now, if you're just starting your scholarship journey now and you're looking out for scholarship next year, look out for scholarship that have passed in the past year. And when next are they opening? How can you prepare yourself for them? Just learn the pattern of the scholarships to help you prepare for next time. So these are a list of scholarship databases you should be aware of. We have Scholarship Region, we have Opportunity Circle, Opportunity Dex, News Opportunity, we make Scholar, Study in Europe, we have them. And then we also have Campus France. A lot of them are already available, posting scholarships for you. And yeah, you would really make you really get a lot of opportunities by just keeping on tabs on them. So there are specific ones for country. For example, if you want to study in Australia, they have study in Australia, study in Slovenia, study in Japan. All of these are platforms that, just share opportunities about that. Okay, I think I have come to the end of my session. And I'm going to be wrapping up with this last quote. There are millions of scholarship applications available worldwide. The question is, are you ready to search them out? I just pointed out that during my application time, I applied 100 universities and I was looking out for each of those schools one after the other, like one after the other, using the very same things I just shared here. And trust me, it took a lot of time. But was it rewarding in the end? Yes. Because every single application I gave out at the end was better than the last one I gave before the application. So by doing this, by going through the process, you are actually becoming a better person. And you are becoming more aware of the opportunities that are available that people don't even know. And you are going to stand a better chance to find opportunities that are very uncommon, very unpopular, but can even give you the best of them. The scholarship I got now, ending this thing, was, I think, a scholarship that I wasn't even like, how will I say it? I was almost at the verge of my application when I got my NA scholarship. But in the end, did it pay off? Yes. Was it still the same process of looking for scholarship that I found that yes, that government scholarships that I just shared, those strategies I just shared, I did the same thing I just shared. So while the journey might be looking, oh, it's a long one, the end is always very rewarding and you cannot compare it to anything else. All right, so thank you so much for joining my session. I'm sorry I've taken a lot of time. I wish you all the best in your scholarship journey and I can't wait to celebrate your success. You can connect with me on LinkedIn and do take care. So without further ado, let me call on the next speaker, David Michael, to go ahead to share his insight.
I believe you can see my screen. Can you see me?
Yes, yes.
Okay, good. Okay, great. I will give it a start. So today I would largely, well done, Victory, and even to our first speaker. I know he's no longer here with us for that awesome presentation. And to be honest, I feel like every one of you who have followed this webinar up until date, you've had enough to succeed in your scholarship journey. But I just want to wrap it up in the next 10 to 15 minutes or thereabout to just talk about the importance of resilience in your scholarship application process, which is very, very important. It helps to keep you motivated, strategic, and mentally strong through uncertainty. Just to quickly say that I did my undergraduate back in Nigeria in biochemistry and then came to the UK to do my master's at Imperial College, and now I'm doing my PhD fully funded on at University of Oxford. All of this program at the end of the day, I got a scholarship across my career. I got a scholarship at my undergraduate, I got a scholarship at my master's, I got a scholarship at my university level, and you could not or you cannot get this much scholarship without resilience, because the truth is at the end of the day we end up getting way more rejections than we got funding, right? That we got scholarship opportunities. So, and this is one of the key. So why resilience matters? Why does it matter? And as Good News hinted earlier in his talk, scholarship applications are highly competitive and demanding. And sometimes I say this to my friends that if you get the chance to see the people applying for that same opportunity you're applying for, trust me, you'll be like, okay, now I know why I didn't get it. Probably I have to apply again because I think even when I applied for my first Commonwealth scholarship, I at the end of the day, I realized I think I told myself I didn't really put in so much effort. I realized the deadline was I only applied very few days to the deadline. I think I submitted like a few hours to the deadline. I just rushed through my essay. I didn't have enough time to plan it. By the time I was done, I was like, okay, even I knew that I was not going to get the scholarship. So if you get the chance to know the people that you're applying with, you might realize how competitive these scholarships are. So it's really very competitive and you need to keep trying hard and with regards to this competition, right? And I've also seen some people who got scholarship and they didn't really look so much like a scholar. What do I mean by that? You might be amazed to say that, oh wait, you didn't make a first class, it's not like you had an outstanding job, you just applied your first time, and some of them even do it like few hours to the deadline, and they just got it. That's the twist. Sometimes in some years they might just not be as much competitive applicants as the previous years. For every application that you end up making, it's as good as the number of tough or competitive applicants that are applying in that same circle. So some years might not have the same competitive applicant pool as some previous years, right? So sometimes it helps to keep applying. And the truth is, every time you keep applying, you become ideally your candidacy should become stronger. You should improve on what you have done. So yeah, resilience matters because these scholarships are very competitive. And resilience is a skill that helps you stay focused, adapt, and keep improving. Right. So this is part of the reason why it matters. Beyond scholarship application, now you need this in life. It increases your chances of success. Building resilience increases your long-term success and it's key to sustaining motivation and achieving your goal. Now, there is something Good News said in his presentation, and he said something like, the process of applying for scholarship is already very demanding. You better find a way to enjoy it, right? You better just find a way to enjoy it. You need to find a way to keep your motivation going, to keep the applications going, because at the end of the day, that will increase your chance of success. There's a particular scholarship, the Knight NSC scholarship. I don't know how many of you know about Knight NSC scholarship at the University of Stanford. I wanted that scholarship more than any other scholarship in the US. Is it Harvard, MIT? It was Stanford. I really wanted to go to Stanford. Even when I got my master's and I graduated with a distinction from Imperial College London, I still wanted to do my PhD through that Knight NSC scholarship. I applied for Knight NSC scholarship 4 times consecutively, 4 years, until I think you are no longer eligible. So I applied for it like every single year. For even after I came to the UK, graduated with a distinction from Imperial, I applied again. I still didn't get the scholarship. But eventually I got the scholarship to study at Oxford, which is like best university right now in the world, which is still very much very, very good as it were. But it's just to let you know that, sometimes even when you keep applying for some of these opportunities, you might not always get that one that you want, but sometimes you end up getting something much better, right? So you increase your chances of success by keeping your motivation, and it helps you overcome setback. Yeah, resistance helps you navigate setback, rejections, and uncertainty. But generally, what does resilience mean? So in broader context, it's the ability to recover from setback and adapt positively to challenges. In terms of scholarship applications, what it means explicitly is bouncing back from rejection and refining your application and persisting. You keep at it, you go again. Don't let it deter you. And there are 4 types of resilience, or 4 angles of resilience I just really want to point out briefly. Emotional resilience. I've seen people who end up getting rejected and then they're emotionally down. They start feeling like, oh, I wasn't good enough. Low self-esteem begins to set in. And some people don't even bother trying because they just don't want to. They're not ready for disappointment. And I think it's something you have to be prepared for. You are obviously going to get more rejections than you get success, right? So you want to keep that in mind. Managing disappointment and self-doubt is very important. And you have to be emotionally strong when you're applying for scholarship. There's cognitive resilience. It helps you to stay focused, clear, and optimistic. Some people can no longer think straight. The moment they just, I've seen people who are like, The moment they probably apply for a job or something and they get rejected, they can no longer think straight. They just lose their plan, they just lose their plot. One of the things I did to help myself, to be honest with you guys, I came to a point when I get a love letter, as we call it, a rejection email. I came to a point where I had to strengthen my mind to a point where if I got that email, I started feeling sorry for the organizer, for the funders of that scholarship. It might look okay. What do I mean by that? I had to come to a point where I realized that I said this to myself. I know the value I'm going to bring to any job that I do, or to any program that I eventually study, or to the university that will eventually accept me. And so I started coming to a point where I feel sorry for that university for not accepting me. Maybe because of one spot or one thing I didn't say in my personal statement, or something maybe that I could have improved, or probably you were too limited to my CV and you didn't see beyond it, and I genuinely felt sorry for them because I knew that I was way much more valuable than what you can think. And yeah, so that was one of the ways I dealt with it, and I moved on. The moment it came to a point where even after applying for Stanford that so much time that I got the rejection, I think even the last time where I so wanted it, I was like, the moment I saw it, I'm a person of faith. I went to just go and thank God. Probably it's your will. Maybe I'm not even designed to go to Stanford in the first place. Probably there's something better you have prepared for me in Oxford. And I moved on. That's it. So you don't want to stay stuck because you have not been accepted. There's also something called social resilience. And make it a habit to build supportive network. Stay around people who are also, going trying to achieve the kind of dreams or have ambition, or even people that have experienced this before. I had friends, you have heard, I think Grace, one of the Chevening scholars, sorry, Commonwealth shared scholars, who came to this platform. I think she applied how many times? Three, was it four times? People do this like 5 times straight before they got their scholarship. So social resilience is important. Learn to build supportive network, people that can help you, can be close member of your family, as it were. And then there's something called strategic resilience. This is the resilience you develop by adapting your approach each time you get an outcome. Okay, I have to sit back at the drawing board. What do I need to improve? What do I need? What needs to change about my strategy? Who do I need to get to review my application? Maybe I need to change my referees. We're going to get to that part quickly as we progress. But one thing that is very important if you must succeed and build resilience is you must have a mindset shift. Rejection is not failure. Stop it. Stop thinking you failed because you got rejected. It is data. What do I mean by data? And when you get data, you should analyze it. Data is information you use to work. So rejection is data, not failure. What does that data help you? So first of all, you need to know that rejection does not equal inability. It doesn't mean that you're incompetent or you're unable to achieve that success or you are not a good fit for that scholarship. Rejection is feedback. Even when it's informal, it's feedback. It's telling you, okay, probably there are things in your application you need to improve. I told you when I didn't make it my first year for Commonwealth scholarship, I spent the next year strategizing and preparing. In fact, I spent more time thinking about my essays than I actually start writing. Okay, because I have lots of experiences. I've done lots of voluntary work. Which voluntary experience I have, whether it's in FECA or in one organization or an NGO, which experience best aligns with the sustainable developmental goal or the development objective of this scholarship for Commonwealth, for example. So I look for the best event in my life or the best story that can portray me as a strong candidate in that area. So that is how you use rejection. Use it as a feedback. And like I mentioned right now, I spent another year preparing and strategizing for my application. Okay. So what other information can you get from rejection? Many scholarship winners were rejected multiple times before succeeding. Many of them. Many of them. But what made them succeed was they kept getting at it. Every no brings you closer to understanding how to refine your narrative. I just gave you a typical example. It helped me go back to refine my story. Maybe I need to tell my story better, probably change the story or improve on it, and maybe do more research. Go online and ask, okay, because trust me that this small, especially when you apply for popular scholarship, now you know uncommon and unpopular scholarships are also important. But when you apply for popular scholarship, virtually every essay, there is somebody online that has given feedback about it. Now there is lots of scholarship from Clazenix. There are lots of content on Commonwealth scholarship, Chevening scholarship. When you go online, you will see this information. There is virtually everything you need. All the essays you need to write, somebody has written something about it before. So change your narrative. Gain better understanding of what that essay is designed to address. It's also an opportunity for a stronger comeback with a stronger profile. I've shared my story during my webinar, during when I was talking about Commonwealth Master Scholarship. And One of the things I did, because as I got into the scholarship process, as I got immersed, I realized that your first class is not just enough. Your academic pedigree is not enough. I needed significant work experience. And that's why when I got the chance to start my youth service, I made sure I found a way to volunteer in a university where I was like as a research teaching assistant. I wasn't paid a dime, but the work I did there, in fact, virtually all the essays I wrote in my Commonwealth was tailored to how I was going to come back and implement some of those things at that university. It was very important, but I knew that that work experience really mattered. So that was it. It was voluntary. I spent 1 year without pay. It was painful because I finished my compulsory service by, let's say, July. I stayed till like December for free doing a very important job that was challenging me mentally and also giving me the experience. And lastly, I'm going to say this on this slide before I go to, I think, just one or two more slides, and that's it. Rejection is not failure. It just means you haven't succeeded yet. Do you get that? It just means you haven't succeeded yet. But one thing I know for sure is that when you get rejected, it is certainly not failure. And like I said earlier, sometimes it's just that in that year, there were just way more competitive scholarship, or just maybe the kind of people that the scholarship is seeking, you just might not fit into that profile. And it's okay. There are other scholarships that might better align with your vision and your profile. So what are the practical strategies for building resilience? And I'm going to go through this because this session is not meant to be long. One, apply early and widely. While it's okay, you want to those scholarships you really want, spend your time on it, but then also apply widely. There was one scholarship I applied in Hungary. What if I had not gotten Commonwealth that would bring me to the UK? Maybe I would have gone to Hungary, do the scholarship opportunity. And the truth is, the good thing, let me be honest with you, one of the biggest secrets about scholarships is when you get a scholarship, your chances of getting way more scholarship increases. It's like when you win a prize, that prize launches you out to get more opportunity, and that's one of the things. See, good news now. He got that two scholarship during his first year. He got Alan Nesta, he got Commonwealth. He chose Commonwealth. The next year, I think he came back again and applied for Alan Nesta. He was still there, he got it, and now he's doing his PhD. And the truth is, at this stage, he's doing his PhD anyway. I don't think there's any scholarship he wants to do again for another PhD. I doubt, but yeah, his chances of getting more funding in the future is high, is increased because of that. So apply early and apply widely. Avoid investing emotional energy into a single outcome, okay? Build a strong support system. Find friends, mentors, join ClassZenix platform, build a strong supporting system. These are practical ways to build resilience, people that can encourage and motivate you. Break the process into small wins. You have successfully drafted your CV. You have successfully written an award-winning personal statement. Celebrate your wins. It might not have gotten you over the line, but that means that at least you got close. You can improve on that. So learn to celebrate your little wins. Like Good News pointed out the other time, and even I think Victory said it in a session. The process of applying for scholarship in itself, there is something about it that makes you a better person. Okay, and that is something you have to realize. There's something about the process that makes you a better person. So my time is running out, and I need to wrap this up. I think this is one of the greatest mystery in scholarship application journey. I don't know how you are claiming you want to succeed in a scholarship and you don't have people reviewing your application. Like for me, it's just, sorry to say this, I feel like it's just not realistic. You need to have people, except you have applied for scholarship before, you are used to getting scholarships, that's fine. But when it's your first application, you have to have people who have gotten it before. I think ClassZenix has a feedback or a platform that allows you get professional eyes on your CV, and some of these are also reviewed by on your application documents, and some of these are actually reviewed by scholars. I think they can go the extra mile of finding scholars maybe in that university who could review your application and show you, or who have gotten that scholarship you're applying for. Use this platform, find friends, connect to people on LinkedIn for free who can even reach out, who can review your scholarship application. Use these opportunities, but most importantly, get feedback on your application and track your progress. Okay, learn to track your progress. Oh, I've made the set goals and target for yourself and learn to track your progress. So how do you bounce back from setback? After each unsuccessful outcome, reflect on some of the things you should reflect on. Was my narrative clear and compelling? Did you tell a good story? Did I demonstrate impact? Did I show leadership or purpose? These are questions you want to ask yourself. So that, because at the end of the day, somebody said, I think I've forgotten who said this quote. They said, you don't keep doing the same thing over and over and over again and expect a different result, right? You have to change the plot. Was my referee the best person for this? Maybe you were going for professors, and maybe this time the professors they aren't writing a very convincing letter. Probably change it to somebody else who you know is also qualified that can write a strong recommendation for you. Don't chase title over content, okay? Was my referee the best person for this? Did I tailor my application to the funder's mission? And this is very important. Every scholarship have a mission, they have an objective. I can't emphasize it now because I know it has been emphasized several times in this webinar. Make sure your scholarship essays and your all of your documents align with the scholarship mission. A Commonwealth will not fund you if your program does not have a development impact to your home country. It's just the way it is. So it's not about whether you are the best graduating student in the whole world. It's about what is the development impact of your program. If they can't see it, you can't get funded, even if you are be whoever. Okay. And which other scholarships can I apply for? You know, it's important that you ask this question. This is my last slide, and I'm going to wrap up with this because of time. Your scholarship journey is not a test of perfection. It's a test of persistence. Sometimes I feel bad because I know see, Victory was just mentioning how much essays, the kind of contents, over 100 applications he was tracking, you know, and some people just apply for one scholarship, they don't get it, and they're like, I'm not applying again. The next year, you're trying to push them. Like, if it feels like, trust me, if I have to push somebody for applying for scholarship in the first place over and over and over again, it just shows they're not. Maybe that opportunity is not just for you. Just go and do something else. Not everybody's. Some people will rather work, save money, and pay their fees. If that is your case, better do it. You know. But for me, there's no point applying for scholarship just once and you don't get it and then you quit. Then you never really wanted it. Okay, so it's a test of persistence. The applicants who succeed are often those who learn, adapt, and keep showing up. You have to keep showing up, keep consistency. And sometimes we say this, even when you've got the money, there's no harm in getting free. My tuition fee in Imperial College was £35,000. That's over 70 or 80 million naira now. And let's not talk about my flights that they paid and the living expenses. They were giving me money every month. I didn't have to work. Okay, so and then let's not also talk about the network and the opportunity. I have valuable. There are friends almost. There is no part of the world right now that I want to go to that I might not have a contact there. You know, it is just that it's just the way it is. You meet people, the opportunities that come with this is beyond what your money can pay for. The best you can do with your fund is maybe you look for a cheap university that can afford your fees, right? But then sometimes this funding allows you to attend I'm right now in Oxford University. I am paying my tuition fees over £35,000 every year for a 4-year program. How would I have done that? You know, I'm just saying this, and let's not talk about the people I'm meeting as well. So build resilience now, and it will support you not only in applications but throughout your academic and professional life. Because trust me, there are many other places in life where you will need this resilience. It's not just for scholarship. Even when you do your PhD, when you start that, let's not even go to when I was doing my master's. The level of competition that I faced, if people came, I met students from Cambridge, from King's College, all doing their masters with me, you know, but I had to fight hard to eventually make a decision from the program. So you need that resilience along the way throughout your journey, beyond scholarship, generally in life. And I really hope that you would find your path. Amen. Yeah, thank you so much. I don't want to go beyond this.
Awesome. Thank you very much. That was really so spot on. And what a way to bring the scholarship bootcamp to a close. Well, thank you so much, David, for that. That was so impactful. And I hope every one of us has actually gotten something valuable from this. Personally, I have been so inspired by the stories from our scholars. I have been so amazed at the level of commitment and the level of work that people actually put into scholarship. And I'm very sure a lot of us have actually been so amazed and inspired as well. So thank you so much, David. And thank you as well to you for actually being a part of this. Like, we literally started this journey on the 21st of September. And tonight is the 30th of November, and we have honestly come to a close of the boot camp. Yay! It has been 11 weeks worth of learning, what of our time, resources, and energy. But I'm really so glad and happy that we all have actually learned something valuable. So we could actually drop your thank yous on the comments. For the sake of time, we'll not be able to address the Q&A because we've already addressed it at the beginning. So we'll just go straight to wrapping up the webinar. So thank you all for joining us on this journey. It has been a very, very amazing journey. I, for one, I have been so inspired. And yeah, a big thank you to our speakers. We had Anointed Riches, a Sheridan scholar, come speak to us. We had Chiwe Buka Christopher, we had Good News, we had Grace, Iola, Friday, Rafiat, Victory, Chukwudike, and David come speak to us. I myself was also a part of it. So huge thank you to our speakers and a very big thank you to you. Like you actually stuck on from the beginning and you actually stayed to the end. You should actually applaud yourself for that. I'm applauding you. So well done for sticking to the end. Like I said, tonight has brought the webinar, the bootcamp to a close. But we don't want to end our relationship with you. At Class Zenix, we are looking for ways to get to serve you and ways to also help you, take action on what we have been teaching in the past 11 weeks. And that's why we are going to be sharing a couple of resources that we have in store for you to take advantage of. And honestly, these resources are available for a very limited time. So for example, we have our LinkedIn optimization service ongoing and it's going to end. It's currently £20 at the moment and it's going to end. This discount is going to end at the 31st of December. So if you're looking for ways to elevate your brand, we talked about how you should connect with professors. You want your profile to be very, very solid, before connecting with those people. So what this profile optimization will do is that it's going to help you to optimize your profile. Let me show you more. You're going to get your branded banner. You're going to get customized URL. You're going to write your work experiences like very well. You're going to be able to ensure that your story is very engaging and it captures the values that you are looking forward to portray. Also, another thing that it also contains is that this is a step-by-step process. We work closely with you, a brand specialist will work closely with you to understand what exactly you're looking at to get from your LinkedIn profile. We will help you to create your profile, help you to review what you want to write, and just provide a better strategy to help you craft a powerful LinkedIn profile that will help to attract the opportunities that we're talking about, the scholarship we're talking about, and to also help to position you for success. So like I said, this is ending on the 31st of December, so book a slot now so you don't miss out. We also have our 3-in-1 scholarship clarity kit. So this is for you if you're looking out to have like a 3-in-1 package. For example, we help to review your personal statement. If you're applying for a particular scholarship, for example, we have the Commonwealth shared ongoing. If you're looking for help on how to review that, we have opportunities for you to do that. We also have an opportunity to review your CV. So that's why it's called 3-in-1 scholarship. At the moment, it's currently at the discount price of £27 and it's going to go back to the normal price, by the 31st of December. So strongly encourage you to take advantage of that. And also if for example, you're looking out to apply like for scholarship like next year, but you're like, oh, these are offers you don't want to miss out. So we strongly encourage you to make your payment like anytime this period, that the discount is going to be available, because by the time the deadline ends, everything is going to go back to normal. So please take note of that. And also, if you're looking out for just reviewing just one scholarship, we have a scholarship essay review to help you get in-depth feedback and actionable suggestions on your essay, to help you align your essay with scholarship value, to help to check your consistency, your grammar, your tone of voice, and to just help to portray your story in a very strong way to your audience, especially if you're looking out to applying for like top scholarships or even your common ones that we just shared tonight. So we have a discount price of $14 at the moment. At the end of the year, December 31st, to go back to normal. And last but not the least, if you're looking forward to having like an ultimate package or ultimate bundle, we have the ultimate scholarship application bundle. So if you're looking up to applying to 3 scholarships, this is your exact bundle that you need. We're also going to help you review your personal statement, to review your CV to ensure that it aligns to the scholarship you're applying for. Currently, it's at a discount price of $67. At the end of the year, it's going to double up, trust me. So you want to take advantage of that. So we're going to be reviewing 3 of your essays, and you will get up to 2 feedbacks, 2 times if you want to like get revisions, 2 revisions for each of them. So this is an opportunity that you should not miss out on. So this is it. Take advantage of it. You can send us an email on classzenix@gmail.com, or you can message us on WhatsApp. If you're on a WhatsApp group, or you could send us a message on social media, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. We're there to help you out and to just ensure that you maximize this before the end of the year. All right, so last but not the least, we have a feedback form that we would like you to fill. So first of all, thank you for being with us on this journey. It has been 11 weeks. Oh my God. So please do fill out the feedback form. We will send it to you on your Gmail. If you have been a part of the bootcamp, we want to hear your thoughts. We want to hear your feedback. How can we improve this bootcamp? How can we get to serve you better? How can we get to ensure that you indeed, get the structure you need, for your for the next scholarship bootcamp? If there are specific questions or areas that you feel that, okay, these are areas that you feel Classenists can attend to, please and please, if you feel the feedback form is going to help us to reflect and help us to make a better strategy for the next webinar, for the next bootcamp. Because while this bootcamp was really amazing, we know that there's a lot of work that can be done, a lot of improvement that can be done, but we cannot be able to fully get the context if you don't share your thoughts on what you think we could do better. So with that said, we have come to a final close of the Scholarship Bootcamp by Classenics. You can keep in touch with us on our socials. You can be in touch with us on our YouTube channel. We are going to bring a lot of more speakers to talk on different topics, maybe not scholarship, but we have a lot of other things that we as an organization in Classenics talk about. We have opportunities about digital skills training, digital marketing. So we are an organization that is very in-depth on digital skills itself. So please subscribe to our channel to keep an eye out on what we're doing and to ensure you don't miss out on the resources, the insight, the opportunities that we have in store for you. Follow us up on LinkedIn, on Instagram, on Facebook, on yeah, those platforms. And just do well to keep in touch. With that said, we are finally going to run up the webinar. So thank you and enjoy the rest of your journey. Wishing you all the best in your scholarship journey. Bye, everyone. Yay!